So I hope you all got your little Tri-Rex tools and you cut notches where they asked you to cut them. It really makes piecing of this particular quilt a lot easier, and it's just a great little tool. I am surprised that since I started using it for this quilt, every time I pick up a magazine lately, they're using the Tri-Rex tool for something, and I thought that's really interesting. You know, it's like getting a new car, and that's all you notice on the road. You know, now I'm noticing Tri-Rex quilts everywhere. So
we have them in stock.
And we have them in stock. Thank you. So what we are going to do this session, and I'm going to start with, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but this is one of my medium triangles. And I wanted you to see the reason we cut the notch is it tells you exactly where that little Rex piece is going to go. Can you see this little tail out there? And it really makes for a nice joining.
Cool.
Press towards your darker side, and I've had no trouble with pieces going together well. So all that work you put into trimming all those little corners, it really is going to pay off as you start piecing. I've done it both ways, and believe me, this works best. So we are going to start with our medium triangles that we cut before, and light Rex and reverse Rex that we've cut before. We are going to sew those. The way I did it is I sewed one side, pressed it open, came back and sewed the other side and pressed it open. And it gave me a nice flat join place. A lot of times when that many pieces of fabric are joining, it's a little bulky. But when I pressed the fabric in between sewing the next piece on, it really came up with a nice sturdy little piece.
And you get a little peak there.
Yeah, it's just some little dog ears. I just didn't trim it on this one.
But that's because of the Tri-Rex and the way it comes together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So expect to get that.
expect to get that. If you've matched your corners down here, you are going to get that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what you're going to do next is kind of a fun thing. Scary the first time you cut it, but it's okay. So we are going to take this piece and we are going to rotate it 180 degrees. We are going to take our Tri-Rex tool and we are going to place it on the 4.5-inch line. And this tool, by the way, has center arrows. See the 4.5, 3.5. That makes it very easy for you to line up on this little point right here so that you end up with a good diamond, a balanced diamond. So you're going to place it on here on your 4.5-inch line. That's 5.5. On your 4.5-inch line, you are going to have a little bit on each side. That's okay. You're going to take your rotary cutter and you are going to cut it. And you will end up with pieces that look like this. We take these pieces and put them in a baggie. And if anybody figures out anything clever to do, let me know, because you're going to end up with quite a few of these little guys. Some people I know would piece them all together. So if anybody wants mine, they can have them. So after we cut that, we're going to end up with this. We are going to take our fabric 3, our dark Rex and reverse Rex. Same thing. We are going to sew on one side and press it really good. Get this nice and flat here. And put our second one on. And we end up with a nice piece like this. We are going to end up with 20 of these. Same exact process with different fabrics. You're going to take your medium fabric, and instead of the light, this time you're going to use your dark, your fabric 3 pieces. Sew on each side. Rotate it 180 degrees. Line up your point. Cut, cut. piece like this. We're gonna add our fabric 1, our light, to each side. And we're gonna make 16 of these. So from here, what we're gonna be doing next session is we're gonna be combining these with these. And it's gonna go nice and quickly after this, because after we get some of this fine piecing, other than the little 2.5 rec and tri-recs, the strip that was here, your 2.5 inch strip, those are gonna be little itty bitty pieces. After that, you can pretty much have some large pieces and the quilt goes together nice. And as I mentioned before, at the end, we're gonna have some design options to work with the quilt. So that's kind of a fun session where we get to see how, when you turn a piece this way or do this, how it looks. So that is session 3. And if you have any questions, as always, please call the store or come in. If you feel like your fabric choices aren't working, come in. We can correct that. Contrast is very important, and I think you're going to really enjoy this quilt, and we're getting going sewing. So to me, that's the fun part. That's what I build up to when I cut and do all this stuff. So please, any questions, let me know, and we will see you for session 4. Thank you.